kind invitation to take part in your highly estimated conference. And I am happy to tell you that I am now in the Kiev city, ancient capital of Ukraine, and the city which has very good and very high level of historical artifacts from 8th millennium before today, and you are welcome to visit and see them. 23-25 May at the Congress of Neurological and Equilibriometric Society, together with Vertigo Academy International. So you are welcome to attend this also. And what is vestibular system? In 1872, Ernest Mach was sitting in the train with his eyes closed, and suddenly he understood that the train was turning, and he understood that we have one more sensor, the sensor of the inertial force. Today, we have to keep in mind that more than 20% of the adult global population has the problem with the vestibular system. And what is especially dangerous is that less than 10% of them have attended the doctor. We have monitored the consequences of the vestibular dysfunction, and the primary reaction usually lasts from several days to several weeks. But then comes the most cunning feature of the vestibular dysfunction, the so-called imaginal well-being. And later on comes the delayed consequence. And these delayed consequences are not related to the vestibular system. And the doctors are treating managing the delayed consequences, and they do not pay attention to the trigger. And what is also bad, the recurrent character of the vestibular system. The patient might be treated or not treated. The symptoms come and then goes down by himself. But the problem is inside. And in the 10 years, vestibular discovery have been already in the so-called neurotic syndrome, the dysfunction of the brain cortex. And then, as Professor Nikolenko from the NET has told, it is the fall down of the immune system. What is fall down of the immune system? Chronic infection, autoimmune disease, oncology. Now, what is very bad in the world? Why? Literature about this. There is no one concept about what is disease. and you see, and say central and peripheral. But why peripheral vertigo is treated by the modifications which are influencing the central nervous system, especially the psychogenic postural instability. What is that? We are speaking about some psychogenic effects, but we do not measure them. How can we measure, for example, excessive slowness or insurance? How can we document? So it is not documented. And that's why we can see this. We have monitored about 3,000 patients in one ambulance in Ukraine. And we have seen that the patients who have refused from the treatment in the 2-year interval appear to be in better condition than the patients who have got the unprofessional treatment. And that means that we have to make the professional management of this problem. And we have to study it. So, why vestibular system is so important? Because it reacts to the factor of trauma. And we are living in the era of epidemic catastrophe. The pictures you see are the pictures from Chernobyl nuclear power station. Then, humanitarian catastrophe. This is Maidan in Kiev. And the whole world is now in the era of the informational overload. Therefore, under the nice supervision of the Professor Dawson, my teacher, we have created a new concept of the vestibular system. The previous concept was Robert Malani, who had got the Nobel Prize for it. And 100 years after him, we have another one, which is from 4 parts. The understanding of peripheral senses, the space orientation part, then vestibular projections in the brain, and vestibular presentation in the body. Sensor of vestibular, they appear to be its one. The gravitation sensor, very important understanding of the gravitation axis, the vertical part. It also recognizes the changes in the microgravitation, which can be created by the celestial body, for example, full moon or solar eclipse. And let us say that the world is very reactive to the celestial body's change. Many revolutions, wars have been started just in the time of solar eclipses or some celestial body perturbations of the gravitation, acceleration. We have studied them in the medical university, and we know very well these, but we do not use this knowledge. Why? What is the speed of the running man? 1 100 meters for 10 seconds, it is 36 kilometers per hour. At what speeds are driving our car? We are the first generation to drive the car. We are not adapted to 100 or 200 kilometers per hour, but we are driving. And you have to know that even the very light head trauma means the excessive stimulus of the vestibular system. Then vibration, so-called macula neglecta and leucemia are recognized to perceive whole body vibration. Whole body vibration is both in the factor and many others, but low frequency whole body vibration is in the nature, it is the earthquake or approach of elephant, for example. And this is danger signal for us. And today we are full of vibration everywhere. In the big buildings, in the supermarket. Then subtly of sound. And 40 decibel, it's my speech now. And in which natural environment do we have infrasound? In tsunami and in storm. So this is also dangerous. Then Denis Soler has found locuses in macula which contain iron. And then we have extracted magnetic evoked potential from the EEG. What that means? It means that magnetic sensor have the pathway to the specific cortical area. Where do we have magnetic impulses in the living nature? When the negatively charged cloud is passing by, and the changes of the weather in the thunderstorm and in the high solar activity, magnetic storm. And now we live in the magnetic smoke because retranslators, generators are providing the mobile handy connection. But this mobile connection is good for our communication, but it's not very good for our health. Metabolic sense, the sixth sensor of the vestibular periphery. The highest sensitive sulfur groups are in the cilia of the vestibular. They are up to 3 orders more sensitive than any other protein groups in our body. And that's why they are reacting to the reduction or oxidation. And then, what is reduction? Monosaccharides, alcohol, what are oxidative agents? Premature xanthine, coffee, theobromine, for example. And they are changing the electrical conduction. But what is important? Symptoms of hematosis and intoxication are identical. Why? Because cats and dogs have not created neither ship or aircraft. This has been created by people. And we and only we can have the kinetosis in the bone, because we have created the bone. And why the symptoms are identical? Because if the poison is in the body, it must be evacuated by any type of the reaction. We understand that intoxication is related to the vestibular. Now, Professor Krauss has formulated the idea of the sensory spectrum for sensory organs, providing the orientation in the space. How should we prove visual vision? You see at the left the activity of visual centers, and at the right the activity of the vestibule, before and after. And what was the action? The student has got the improper spectacle, and they were asking to go to the park and to walk with this spectacle 1 hour. And after that, visually appeared to be in the same condition, but vestibular nucleus has gone into overexcitation at about the level of fasciculus medialis longitudinalis, as it is shown by the red hair. The same we can say about the other types of interaction. We have a lot of proof of the idea that it is the vestibular system which organizes the perception of the space. And for example, in postural, they are speaking about 3 senses. Why hearing is problem? And hearing is very important. For example, we see the phonation of the patient. Phonation means giving the music into the hearing, and we see that in this patient, the vestibular function improved after music indicated to this patient. Minutes. Look at another patient, and you can see that vestibular function crucially decreased after the phonation. So we see the influence of the many sensory organs at the vestibular projection. The complex of the pathway from one portion to the other portion of the system is called projection. And contrary to the other sensory systems, vestibular have not one vestibular cortex, but 4 projections. It has very tight relation with motor, vegetative, and limbic system. So, cortical projection organizes the orientation in the space. And in pathology, we are speaking about vertigo and dizziness. But opposite to the other sensory system, vestibular system have not one cortical representation, but 4. It has representation in somatosensory, visual, and acoustic systems. Why? What for it is necessary? What is the biological reason for it? Because vestibular system provides the understanding of the vertical. It is one of the most important parts of our space orientation. With cooperation with somatosensory system allows us to realize horizontal, and cooperation with visual and hearing system allows us to understand the depths of the space, the distance and direction. And what happens if this cooperation is destroyed? This is a true business, but I feel that this architect once have seen the pictures like this. I have had the patients who complain of such types of disturbance, nonlinear paroxysm. Not so much, but what is interesting, correction of the vestibular function appears to be very profitable for these patients. Vestibular motor projection is very important because without vestibular system, the patient cannot move, run, jump, and in pathology we have R26, R29, or H55 in stack. Many reflexes, even at the level of the spinal cord and brainstem, like vital reflexes, are controlled or include vestibular function. If vestibular function is not enough good, these reflexes are not properly performed. Vegetative rate. Helen Polataiko from Toronto, Professor Polataiko from Toronto, is proving that vestibular stimulation improves the intellectual development of the kids. And that's why this device, the Trevor, which was invented, let us say, some 8,000–10,000 years ago, made us so intellectual. Vegetative projection in pathology means what we know, a lot of vegetative dysfunction. And I want to show especially, this is rhomboid fossa, and rhomboid fossa contains the blue, it is complex of the vestibular nucleus, and then the line going down, it is descending vestibular nucleus, and look, it is tightly captured by the vital vegetative nervous center. And this is the area where our redistribution of the blood, our heart beating, our breathing rate are organized depending on whether we are standing up or lying down or we are sitting. Limbic projection. In normal condition, good proper vestibular stimulation improves mood and quality of life. In pathology, it disturbs not only emotions, but it disturbs also our cognitive function, memory, attention, learning, and many others. So, few words about the investigation method. Usually, we use phosphorography rotatory test, caloric test, and some other traditional tests. But to study the vestibular system, we have to study cortical projection, motor projection, which are studied in most laboratories, vegetative projection, which are neglected everywhere, and limbic projection, which are also neglected. So, the sensitivity of CT and MRI, you see, they are less than 40%. Dopplerography, as Bergman and Berthelot have shown, once have no relation to the vestibular function. Then, not them, but vestibular true evoked potential have shown the sensitivity exceeding 90% and specificity close to 100 and coherent. The coincidence of the data from different laboratories exciting 95%. Vestibular motor projection, posturography, sensitivity between 35 and 54. Paying attention. Rotation test, sensitivity at least not greater than 40. Caloric test. What is 15 millimeters tumor? Enough big, and it has 70%. Final performance. The sensitivity is more than 80%. But we can use cranial cartography with this technology, and its sensitivity is more than 95%. Now, how can we document or standardize the complaint? There are two questions. One is Clausen mask, and second is Jacobson and Newman dizziness handicap invention. What is Clausen? It is good because it gives us a very big variety of the but the detailed dizziness complaints are not so good visualized. What is good in handicap invention? It is detailized complaints of dizziness, but it has only one figure, which is not sufficient to see the profile. So we have proposed the types of dizziness, and we will show you now. And these complaints might be easily put into the table, and it is very easy to pull down the table because if the complaint is present, Dr. 1, if it is absent, simply means this part of the table. What is good in the Google table or Air table? It is good that possibility of introducing text, photo, and even video. And then YouTube video. You see how that is. So, how now we are speaking about the types of dizziness. Dizziness is disturbance of motion, space, and time. What happens with the patient? The patient comes and says, "Doctor, to go to my home, I have to cross the road, the stream of the cars which are moving in the opposite side of the road. Earlier, I had easily captured the moment to move, but now I have to wait till all the cars will pass by, and only then, if I see empty street, I dare to cross the road. So this is disturbance of the perception of space and time. And many investigators have studied where the sensation of dizziness is